Good morning and welcome to Norcal APEX Accelerator's webinar, hosted in partnership by California DGS OSTS. This is how to do business with the state of California. My name is Amanda Anderson. I'm the program coordinator for Norcal APEX Accelerator, and today I'm joined by Elisa Carr, the business outreach liaison for California DGS OSDS. Elisa is a business outreach liaison, but has experience in the financial industry as well as event industry. She has a plethora of training experience and really enjoys connecting with the businesses and with the clientele that DGS is looking to really do business with. But before I pass it off to her for the main content of today's presentation, I would love to let you know a little bit about NorCal APEX Accelerator and how we can support your government contracting goals. So the APEX Accelerator program is a nationwide network of over 96 local centers that are funded by both federal, state, and local grants to assist businesses just like yours with anything related to government contracting. From your initial market research to figure out what agencies are buying your products or services, to helping you figure out what certifications you qualify for or registrations that you need. Our centers are funded by these grants because these government agencies want to do business with you, but they know it can be tricky, and that's where we come in. The best part is no matter what center is your local center, whether it's with NorCal Apex or maybe California Capital, who covers Sacramento, or maybe San Diego if you're joining us from SoCal. No matter what center you connect with, you'll get the same great services at absolutely no cost to you. But what exactly do those services look like? What does that assistance look like in practice? Well, at NorCal Apex Accelerator, we're able to offer our assistance to the 15 Northern California counties that you see on your screen. And we offer that assistance through three main pillars of service. First, our one-on-one counseling, where once you are signed up with us as a client, you'll be paired with one of our fantastic procurement specialists that has years in government contracting. And they'll be able to sit down with you one-on-one over Zoom, or if you are interested, we do have in-person counseling in Humboldt County at our administrative headquarters. And your procurement specialist can help you with anything related to government contracting. They can help you develop your capability statement and really polish it for the individual opportunities that you want to send it out for. They can help you learn how to communicate with contracting officers and agency buyers in a professional manner. And they can even help you identify good solicitations for your company, help you write the proposal, make sure all those T's are dotted, those I's are dotted, T's are crossed. And even after you win your first award, they can look over your compliance paperwork to make sure that everything is in order and you're maintaining a good relationship. The counselors can really be something of we call a coach in your corner, in a sense. Always there to help, but never needing something from you. Because remember, our services are absolutely no cost. Another great benefit of becoming a client is our custom bid matching software. And that is something our program actually pays and is able to offer to our clients at absolutely no cost. Again, all of our services are free. Now, what this software does is it allows us to sit down with you and define criteria in what a good solicitation looks like for you. So maybe you have a really niche and innovative product, or maybe something you're not seeing very often in the government contracting market. That would be a good criteria. Or maybe you can only perform your services in a certain geographic location. That would also be a good criteria. The idea is that you sit down with your counselor and they help you define what you're really looking for in a good solicitation, one that your business can perform on effectively. And we put it into our software. Now, this software goes ahead and scrapes federal, state, and local procurement sites based on that criteria. And we'll email you relevant opportunities directly to your inbox. It can take a lot of the tediousness out of finding these opportunities and can really help boost success of businesses. And finally, our third pillar of resources is one you're actually taking advantage of right now. We put on a number of in person and virtual workshops throughout the year, covering introductory topics like we are today to more complex topics like how to perfect your elevator pitch, how to get certified and figure out what certifications you're eligible for. I know some of our more recent ones have been very federally focused, covering cybersecurity and DoD contracts, more advanced topics like that. But the best part, at least in my opinion, is that even if you weren't able to attend and register for all of these webinars, all of these trainings, we host all of our hosted webinar recordings on our website for you to review at your leisure and when you need them. In addition to our webinar recordings, we have a ton of resources, links, and worksheets for you to support your government contracting goals, whether they're federal contracting, state contracting, or even just contracting with your local city or county agency. So, if you have not had a chance to do so, I highly recommend you check out our website to take advantage of those free resources, because those are there for you whether you're in our service area or signed up as a client. They are there for you to use and to help boost your business. But if you are interested in a bit more in-depth assistance, please do register for our services, whether you're in Norcal APEX Accelerator service area or not. There is an Apex Accelerator Center near you who can offer you the same free assistance to support your contracting goals. And so with that, I would love to read just a bit of disclosure as this is a recorded event. The information provided herein is accurate to the best of the presenter's ability at the time of this presentation. Some or all of the provisions mentioned herein could or may be changed by the current administration, with or without notice. And so with that, I'll go ahead and pass it off to Elisa Carr.
Yay. Thank you so much, Amanda. Again, thank you for having us, DGS. We're excited about our extended partnership that we have with NorCal. So, NorCal APEX Accelerators, I'm going to say the whole name and not shorten it. So, we are going to talk about today how to do business with the state of California or how to do business with California state governments. Sometimes the names are interchangeable, but the information will be the same. So Amanda is going to, she's going to go through the slides. Thank you so much. So this is going to be my information. And again, my name is Elisa. I'm the business outreach liaison. I've been in this role for about 18 months. I've worked with the state of California for 3 years now, and I've been in the unemployment department. I've also been in tax compliance division, and I have an extensive 20-year background in banking. This is my phone number. I would say to you that I'm on webinars and I do, my group does travel a lot. So it's best to reach me via email, and my email is on the screen, and we'll put that back up again a little bit later as well. So we'll go ahead and get started with the information that we have at hand. And there is going to be a couple of sections where you can ask questions as we move along. So this is a really good slide. This is the Proposition AB 2019 that was enacted by the governor that states that what we're going to do is we want statewide participation to encourage and to support our small businesses. So what we want to do is for all new businesses in the state of California, we have set a goal that all new business, 25% will go to small business and 3% will go to the DVBE, which stands for Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise. So on the next screen, we'll break down what that money aspect kind of looks like, which is a lot of money, right? And that's why we're here, to learn how we're going to get a piece of the pie. So these are the numbers from the fiscal year of 23-24. So there was over $13.35 billion in contracts, and the emergency contracts is through the um, emergency system that we have set up in place, and we'll go over how you can register for that. And that was 874.9 million, which it's a tragedy as well, because with so many tragic events that are happening and emergency events happening, this number continues to go up and up, but we still need to have small businesses that are available to lend a hand when we need that service. So the small business has a great chunk of money, $625.8 million, and that's going to be 4%, 69% of all the contract dollars. So we are winning in the area that we have allocated for AB 2019. Proposition AB 2019 is what that is called. So when we're talking about state certification, the state of California just has 3 certifications. So we don't have women-owned, we don't have minority-owned, we don't have LGBTQ, we don't have all those subsectors of classifications that you could find somewhere else. So the state of California's certification is going to be small business. It's going to be small business for the purpose of public works, small business or PW, and we're going to have the disabled veteran business enterprise, the DVBE. So we'll go into in the next couple of slides exactly what that's going to mean. When we are talking about a certification, we are talking about the criteria for that certification. So you don't need to be certified to do business with the state of California, but the benefits getting and maintaining the certification is the reason that you would want to do that. So again, this is an open public facing website, so anyone could go here, bid on contracts, look for whatever they wanted. But the advantage is being a certified business. And the first advantage is that you would get the 5% bid preference as a small business. And you could possibly stack that on top of each other up to a 5% incentive for DVBEs. And then you also were going to get exclusive contract opportunities. You're going to get the advantage of prompt payment. We're going to talk to you about reciprocity partners, that you don't have to go and register with those additional companies. They accept the state's certification. And we are also going to talk about working with primes as well. So as a certified business, you get the benefits of the Prompt Payment Act, which was built in higher interest penalties for late and undisputed invoices payments to the vendor. So that was good news that was eradicated and put into place as well. So we'll go ahead to the next screen. Some of the information we're going to talk about today is who is eligible for the small business requirements. So the small business company must be independently owned and operated, not dominant in the field of operation. So Microsoft is not going to be one of the state certified businesses, right? They're dominant in their field of operation. The principal office must be located in California. The owners or officers of a corporation must be domiciled in California. 100 or fewer employees. The GARS, which is the gross annual receipt, is less than $18 million. With affiliates, as if you are a sole prop and you have 3 or 4 businesses, we're going to roll all of those businesses in together. Those would be your affiliate businesses that roll up with your social security number or the EIN number that you have. And if you're a manufacturer, it's 100 or fewer employees, and there are no gross annual receipts for a manufacturing company. So we'll go ahead to the next slide, and then we are going to talk about small business public works eligibility requirements. They're going to be the same as the small business requirements, but the public works eligibility is going to have 200 or fewer employees, and the gross annual receipts, or the GARS, is going to be less than $43 million. So if we go ahead to the next screen, we're going to talk about um, the small business and small business public works. That's one certification for both. You're going to get the same benefits, and the small business public works is only for public works, and SB small business is for everything, including public works. So it gets a little wordy in there, but you have to just be able to remember the regular guidelines would be that for small business, you'll have 100 or fewer employees, and then your gross annual receipts would be less than $18 million for small business. So next we'll talk about on the next slide, we're going to talk about the DVBE, the Disabled Veteran Business Eligibility Requirements. So the business owner has to have at least a 10% service disability. That will come from the federal government. That does not come from the state. And if you're going to be an LLC, then it has to be 100% and at least 51% owned by a disabled veteran. The veteran owners must reside in California, managed and operated by disabled veterans, and they must be headquartered in the United States. So if we go ahead to the next screen, we're going to talk about Cal-E Procure, and this could be a good launching point if you had any questions thus far. And I do see some questions in the chat. Amanda, do you want to go over those quickly? Do you want to go over the questions in the chat? We'll stop here and take a couple of questions. This is one of the stopping points.
Okay, okay, perfect. So yeah, I
Oh, I
do
can't
see a
hear you.
couple. Oh,
I
okay.
can't hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear
Oh,
you.
I can't hear you. No.
Okay. Um,
The speaker is not working. Please check your connection. So
it
maybe it's on my
sounds like
side,
it
my
might be on
connection.
your end.
If
Folks are
everyone can
saying,
hear you, then that's great.
okay, perfect. So yeah, we will get into some questions. We
Oh,
have
they can hear
someone.
both of you. I just can't hear you. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Thank you all so much for letting us know. So we do have someone in the Q&A section asking if Canadian citizens are allowed to do business with the state of California. Can you hear me, Elisa? Oh, now we can't hear you. So, all right. Technology always has its hiccups. Elisa, if you can hear me, please put a hand up. And does not look like she can hear me. I do believe she is probably looking into that right now, so we'll go ahead and give her a moment. So I do see some questions about Canadian citizens. I will let Elisa answer that because while I do have an idea, I am not a procurement expert. Um, but while she gets those set up, I do want to note that our Apex Accelerator centers, yes. I wanted to touch base about our Apex Accelerator centers, and I will be dropping a link in chat as we did have a couple Q&As looking to get connected with their local center. And fantastically enough, our federal funders actually manage a database to help businesses just like you. And it looks like she's going to be giving me a call. But if you are interested in connecting to Apex Accelerator Centers, no matter where you are coming from, you can do so at the link that I am putting in chat right now. And please do, I appreciate your patience as I hopefully figure out this tech There we go. Zoom is just being so weird today. So Elisa did log out. She's going to try and log back in, doing some tech stuff, the turn it off, turn it on trick. But while we wait, I will go ahead and get our slides back up as well. Let's go ahead and here. Fantastic. And it looks like Elisa is back as well. Hopefully that fixed it. And thank you all so much for your patience. As I'm sure we have all had experiences with, somehow the tech always decides to be a little funky when we really just need it to not. Are we back, Elisa? Okay, so you can hear me, but I can't hear you now. So let's see about this. No, should be coming in just fine on my end. Let's try that. Elisa, can you hear me? Okay, you can hear me. It looks like in Zoom you are muted for me. Okay. I am still not getting audio, so I will play around it on my end. But are folks in chat able to get Elisa's audio at this point in time? No. Okay. Nope. Still not hearing you. And that's the hard thing because I would love to be like, oh, why don't we share your screen? I can get into the Zoom settings and help you out. But when you share on Zoom, and this is something I learned from experience, unfortunately, the Zoom controls are not shared. So I wouldn't be able to even help on that end. And it looks like, so that's interesting. And just to keep everybody abreast, I do hope everybody can still hear me. It looks like the audience isn't getting your video either. So it's video and audio for them, but for some reason on my end, I see you just fine. This is strange. Okay. And thank you everyone who's keeping me updated in the chat. That is very important for troubleshooting because it helps us kind of identify where the issue is. Gloria, that is a good point. Let's see, I should be host, but Elisa should also be co-host. So let's go ahead and double check that that is functioning as intended. Looks like it is. Let me see if I can do anything on my end. And again, thank you all so much for your patience. We do apologize for this hiccup. So let's see if I can just make you host. Maybe that'll help. All right, can we test it out, Elisa? Okay, so I'm still not hearing you, but I am seeing you. Hmm. Thank you, Kelly. Yes. So, Lisa, if you could give me one more phone call just so we can figure out how we would like to proceed about this. It looks like this issue is not going to be as quickly resolved as we hoped. And again, I do appreciate everybody's patience, and please do not fret. If we cannot get this together, we will reschedule and you will be automatically registered and reminded. So thank you all so much for your patience. Unfortunately, I still am not getting any audio. That's so weird. Well, unfortunately, it looks like this audio issue may be a bit more than we can um, surpass today. Um, and as long as everybody here is okay with a bit of patience, again, we do appreciate it. I do like Rod's suggestion in the chat to maybe restart the PC. Do we want to try that as the final kind of thing? And then, like I was saying, if for some reason that doesn't work, me and her will troubleshoot. And I do promise you guys, it was working an hour ago. Like it's been working for the past hour. Sometimes Zoom's just technology is technology, you know. It's very, very helpful when it's working. And Deborah, I do see a note of joining the meeting by phone call. I think the only hiccup we have there is I'm not sure how to get a co-host to join the meeting by phone call. The invite's a little bit different from my understanding, but we can definitely try that as well. However, I don't want to hold everybody up here if it's just looking like that, but I do want to reassure we'll be troubleshooting this and we will be rescheduling. Again, like I said, when we reschedule, you all will be automatically re-registered, so you won't have to do anything. You'll be getting the registration notification when that happens as well. So we will get you this content one way or another. And thank you all so much. You guys have been fantastic throughout these tech issues. I really do appreciate it. So I would love to answer any questions that I can confidently while I'm here. I do see someone asking, is there a local office of Norcal Apex for in-person meetings in San Jose or the Bay Area? We do not have a defined office per se, but we do have a number of counselors who counsel within that area. So if you are looking for in-person counseling in the Bay Area, we can definitely set that up. It would probably be set up as a probably at a some sort of co-working space. I know that we've had partnerships with CoBiz Richmond to do in-person counseling there. So if you are interested in in-person counseling, whether you've signed up or not, you can definitely let us know and we can get that set up for you for sure. And then I see someone also asking if they can register for bid match. And I do want to clarify the bid matching program that we offer is something that we offer to our clients only. So as long as you are signed up as a client with us, you'll be able to sit down with your counselor and really take advantage of that custom bid matching. And I do believe, if not every center, there's always an exception, but I do believe nearly every center of our 96 nationwide centers uh, has some level of custom bid matching as part of their free services. So it's definitely something you can take advantage of, whether you're in our service area or not. And it looks like Elisa is back. Fingers crossed. I'm not getting audio. Is anybody else getting audio? No. Okay. I think what's gonna have to happen is we're gonna troubleshoot this, definitely figure this out, and who knows, maybe Zoom is just going through a weird update today and they just decided no. And it looks like folks can only hear and see me at this point in time. All right. So, oh, you guys want a little cute distraction to leave you on maybe? And Elisa, if you would like, because I can't hear you as well. Hello, Munchkin. Elisa, do you want to give me a phone call? I see you talking and I can't hear you. Ugh. If anybody's a cat person, this is my kitten. She just came to say hi. Hey. All right. And so I do just want to clarify, as I think we got a bit of a different understanding. If you can see and hear me, Amanda, clearly, please put a 1 in chat. Okay. So yeah, it looks like we're still having issues with Elisa's setup, unfortunately. All right, and just to confirm, if you can see Elisa And here, Elisa, please put a 2 in chat, or please do let us know if you can see her.
Still nothing. Cannot
Oh,
see or
I
hear.
just got audio.
Oh, did that work? Yeah.
Yeah, I just got audio.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Woo!
Synced itself back in. Okay, I'm gonna hang up. Okay. Oh, so sorry.
Perfect. Yes.
Sorry. Sorry.
And thank you all so much for your patience. We would love to jump back into it.
Let's
So
let's
we
do
were
that.
looking at questions, and we do have a few questions for you, Elisa.
Oh, okay, great. Go ahead.
So under this program, under the California regulations, are Canadian citizens allowed to do business with the state of California? And how does citizenship play into certification as well?
Going to be able to do certification. They have to be a California resident, but they want to go into the open system to look for something to bid on. They certainly can, but you don't get the certification. You have to be housed in California for that. So great question.
Perfect. And then I'm not sure if this is maybe a little too far in advance for the presentation. I'm not sure if we'll get to this, but someone in the audience has secured a CMAS contract and is registered in Cal eProcure, but they keep running into some sort of notification saying active DGS TDDC MSA agreement. Are you familiar with that MSA agreement?
I'm not familiar with that MSA agreement, but there should be an email for like cmas@dgs.ca.gov. If they want to email me a one-off, or it should be on the CMAS site, but it sounds like that there is another agreement that has to be secured and filled out before this is going to work. But I'm not really sure, but I can certainly find out.
Fantastic. And I'll go ahead and drop the link to the CMAS webpage in chat for you to explore on your own as well. And then let's see. I see a couple questions for Apex Accelerator, so I'll go ahead and answer those while we move on with the presentation. So if you are ready, Elisa, let's go
Yes,
ahead and move forward.
ready. So sorry. That is the second time that has happened in this
Oh,
training room. Yes.
oh gosh.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, but we're going to breeze on through. So we were talking about getting certified with state contracting with Cali Procure. So everything happens at Cali Procure. So what you would do is you would go up to Cali Procure. You would look at the four boxes at the top. You would point out public procurement information, find training links, search bid opportunities, and quick links will pop up at the top. So once you get started, you will go in and you will log in. And we'll go to the next screen. There are a lot of screenshots in here just so you don't get lost. And so when you're down here on this page, you're going to select new bidder registration. And on the next screen, it's going to show you that you have to, just like any other website, you're going to set up a username and password, and that's going to get you in. So then on the next screen, this is where you're going to be, and this is exactly what it looks like. You're going to get started. There's a couple of places you could click. You could click on get started, or you could also click on apply for certification. On the next screen, it's going to show you the list of documents that I would definitely suggest that you gather before you start this process. The DGS or the State of California website is a little bit wonky. It's been around a long time. So gather your documents first before you start to upload, and then go get documents, come back and upload, get all of your documents together first, and then you will be successful with this process. So on the next screen, we're going to talk about that you're going to have keywords and UNSPSC code words, United Nations Standard Products, standard codes is what we're going to use. So different from SAM.gov, they use the NAICS codes, the federal government, that's the federal government. The state of California uses same kind of thing. We want you to describe, your goods and services, not the industry that you are in. So when you're doing that, that will allow buyers to find your business, and you can edit this list at any time. So we are talking about UNSPSC code words on the next screen. And again, that's going to stand for United Nations Standard Products and Services Code. So if we go to the next screen, that would be great. Oh my goodness, here we go. Yeah, so we're going to talk about the keywords first, and the keywords will describe the goods and services, again, not the industry. So buyers can find you, and you're going to pick your own keywords. We'll go over that in just a little bit about how that's going to work. So you want to make yourself as big of a target as you can, and then we'll give some tips when it comes to the keywords. But on the next screen, we're going to want to talk about, again, the federal government uses NAICS codes. The state of California uses UNSPSC code words. That's United Nations Standard Products and Services Code. It's an 8-digit number. And again, it identifies your goods and services, not the industry that you work in. This is going to be really important. And you're going to use Cali Procure system notification so that we can find your business. So if we go to the next screen, we'll do a little bit of, give you some examples of how to use the UNSPSC code words. So there are different hierarchies and levels that happen with UNSPSC code words. And this is just an example. So if you looked for a UNSPSC code word to describe your goods and services that you have for your business, level 1, you'll see that that's going to describe paper products or paper materials and products, versus level 4, which is going to be paper materials and products, paper products, business using printer and writing paper, printer or copier paper. So you want to try to drill down to get to level 3 and 4 as much as you can, because again, at level 1, someone might be just searching. If they were searching for business copy paper, they might not find your company because you needed a level 4 UNSPSC code word to get to the business printer and copywriting paper. So you'll figure that out as you go along. But again, the UNSPSC code word is going to describe the goods and services. The level 4 that you use will encompass business use, printing and writing paper, along with paper materials and products and paper products. So it's just going to give you a better description of your goods and services if we can get down to a level 4. So if we go to the next screen, that's going to be a screen that we have for questions. I don't know if we have any. I think we answered them as we were going along. So Amanda, if you want to chime in, if not, we'll keep on going.
I think for right now, the few questions that we have are more related to the certifications specifically. Do you think this is a good time, or are we going to go into more detail in the certifications a little bit later?
I'm not in the certification area, but I might be able to answer a couple of the questions, so you can ask.
Okay, fantastic. So someone was wondering if a small business firm and a non-small business firm jointly bid on a government contract, does the small business firm need to be the prime contractor in order to get those small business benefits?
Anyone who is certified with the state of California, that's the company that will get the benefits. So if you're trying to, it sounds like someone's trying to use a non-certified company and a certified company to bid. You are not allowed to do that. This is for certified businesses. If the non-certified business wants to bid, then they should bid, right? But if you are going to be the primary, then you could look for one of them to be a sub, but they need to be a certified company. What if both companies are certified? That's great if both companies are certified, right? So one would be a prime and then one would be a sub because two businesses would not be a prime.
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect. And then I did have one other question. I initially kind of flagged as an Apex question, but I can definitely see it applying to the certifications as well. It sounds like someone in the audience is a small business that is a worker-owned cooperative. Does that mean that that kind of company would not qualify if not all of the employees were California residents?
No, because the workers don't have to be California residents. It's the owner of the business and where the business is domiciled, which is most important. And that has to
Okay.
be California.
So yeah, perfect. And I think it may get a little bit into the nuance of like
Yes.
technically the workers are part owners, but not all of them are in California, so not all of the owners. And that's where you can get into more detail with something like our counseling services. Our procurement specialists are very versed in state contracting and all of these little nuances for the different types of business.
And you can also then check with the certification department, certification at dgs.ca.gov as well, if you have some additional questions. But again, the main thing that we have to remember is this certification is for California-based companies. Right, not domiciled in the field of operation. Principal office is located in California. The owners or officers of the corporation domiciled in California, 100 or fewer employees. So those would be the main caveats. When we try to go one-offs on, well, what if this, then you got to be really specific about what it is that you're doing. So it's not about the employees, it's about the number of employees, but it's about the owner of the business and where the business is domiciled.
Perfect.
Perfect.
And with
Okay.
that, I think we'll go ahead and move on.
Okay. So we're going to talk about finding contract opportunities, which we call the CSCR, which is the California State Contractors or Contracts Registry System. Again, this is a publicly advertised competitive bid solicitations. And again, it's publicly advertised. So someone in Canada could go to Cali Procure and they could look for some things. But the advantage of being a certified California business is that 5% bid preference that you would get, which would give you, sometimes they do a score and sometimes they say, oh, that's going to be a 5% reduction in the bottom line of what the price is going to be. So bid solicitations are available to qualifying businesses, and we're going to show you where you can go and find those opportunities. And once again, as everything happens, you'll go to the home screen of Cali Procure, and you're going to go to log in, and you will do that. And once you log in, it's going to go, if we want to go to the next screen, you're going to start your search. And once you do that, you are going to come here, and this is what the search is going to look like. And you can search by a different variety of ways. You can search by a UNSPSC code word. You can search by a contractor's license. You can search by an area. So it's going to come up. Once you search and you find something, once it pops into your screen like this, on the next screen, what it's going to show you is this is the event detail. So on the next screen, so I'll spend a little bit of time on the event detail because this is really, really important. So I want you to note the contact person listed here is just for a specific solicitation. This is not someone that you should reach out to. This is specifically for this event. So at the top of the event, it says view event package. Well, let's talk about this first. You're going to see the start date of the event. You're going to see the end date of the event. And what you have to pay particularly close attention to is if there is a pre-bid conference. If there is a pre-bid conference and you do not attend, you will not be in a position to win this bid. The pre bid conference is for answering questions about the bid before you decide that you want to take the leap to bid on the bid, right? And so it gives you the general contact information, the person who's in charge of the bid that answers questions. So that wouldn't come to us here at DGS if you had a question. Sometimes I get a lot of questions. Oh, Elisa, I have a question about a bid. We are not going to be able to answer those questions about the bid because that's just going to put us in too much of a precarious position. Your person to answer questions about bids, if you have it, would be your Apex Accelerator advisor. That is what they are good for, a resource, is to help you with those questions that you have before you place the bid. So you'll look for a pre-bid conference. They usually happen at the very beginning of the event. Also, you're going to be able to post a vendor ad. So if it was a business and you were like, oh my, this seems like a really big contract, but I think I could take on a portion of the business, underneath the view event package, there's going to be a link that says post vendor ad, and then you can view vendor ad. So if we go to the next screen, I'm going to show you what that posting of a vendor ad, what that's going to look like. So again, if you find an event, a solicitation that you think it might be a little bit too big for you, and you're like, I could like to take on a portion of that work. I'd like to team up with someone. I'd like to team up with the prime. What you would do is you would fill out this contact detailed information, your name, your email ID, your phone number, and under the description, that is where you're going to put your small business or your DVBE business number there. You're going to tell them what you do, how long you've been in business, and you would be able to click on the response deadline underneath it. It says a sub seeking a prime. That is where you would want to team up and join them in doing that. So on the next screen, it's going to show you what an ad would look like if it's filled out. So this one, no ad for a prime seeking a sub, but what they're doing is this is a sub seeking a prime. They filled it out, they've given their name, the response deadline. This is the information that you would do. So this is pretty neat. Again, if you don't want to take on the whole responsibility, you could take on a portion of the business, and this stays there until the event has expired. And when the prime goes back in and looks at this solicitation, they're going to be able to click on the link to see what vendors want to partner with them. And that could be a good way to get some business as well. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next screen. And we're going to talk about advocates. Advocates are another way that we use. They're state employees, and what happens is the advocate will be able to solicit bids and opportunities for your business. So we're going to show you how that's going to work. Remember, the advocate is a state employee. They work in the purchasing procurement department. They're a manager, an analyst, etc., whatever their title would be. And all departments that spend at least $100,000 a year are required to have an advocate. The advocate will work on your behalf to secure solicitations for you. They can market your business because sometimes people send RFPs directly to the advocate and say, hey, I've got this. Can you find a business for me? Be it a small business, a DVBE business. This is just another way that we have an opportunity to help small businesses. So on the next screen, we'll talk about the roles of the advocate and how that's going to work. They're going to help certified businesses contract with their department. So the Department of the UC systems, UC California, that is their department. They have contracts that they need to fill. They look for advocates to email them. They have a list of advocates. They know what the company is going to do, and they'll say, "Oh, I need a small business that does this for this department, and can you find something for me?" So they assist the businesses with prompt payment. If you have anything to do with a bill that hasn't been paid, that would be the prompt payment assistance is what's going to come from the advocate as well. So they help buyers use certified firms because remember Proposition AB 2019 says that all new business in California should come from small businesses, 25% and 3% of disabled veteran businesses. This is what the advocate is going to attempt to meet those numbers every year. And they're going to seek out new certified businesses. So the advocate is not supposed to be using the same business over and over and over again, right? This is to spread the wealth, to spread the love, if you will, to other new businesses that will email them to say, I'm ready. I would like to do some business as well. So if we go to the next screen, and then I'll stop for questions in just a moment. So when you contact the advocate, you want to make sure that you are sending them your capability statement or your business resume, as you would call it as well. And you want to make it short and sweet. You want to send them an email that gives your capability statement, your certification ID number, what you do, and your contact information will go to them. But the next screen, we're going to talk about where you're going to find this information. How do you find your advocate? So if you go to the next screen as well, everything starts at the home screen. Find training and resources. And on the next screen, and again, there's lots of screenshots so you don't get lost. And one more time, if you go one more screen, right there at the bottom under research and marketing, contacting the SB and DVBE advocate. So on the next screen, this is exactly what it's going to look like for you. We've made it very user friendly. You're going to go in now, which we're so happy it's not just an email Excel spreadsheet that pops up anymore. It is a BI. What do I want to say, Amanda? It's not the Excel spreadsheet anymore. It's a
It's a web page database.
yes, it's a web page
Yeah,
database. There you go. Thank you.
it's so nice.
It's so nice. So you'll go here, you'll click here for the advocate directory. Yes, and then right here, this is what's going to show you. Voila. So what you would do with finding an advocate is you get to decide which department you would like to work with, right? This is what this is. We have hundreds of departments that you can work with. And what you would do, you can either scroll down, it's in alphabetical order on the right-hand side. You could do the department name that you want to work with. And what will happen is that this is just a snapshot. So going further vertical or horizontal with the document, you're going to then see that there's going to be an email address, a phone number, and then you're going to get that email address. I would not call them for a response. I would go with an email because they're out trying to source business as well. So you would email them and you would let them know that what we want to do is I'd like for you to market my company. Here's my capability statement. And I would say this, you probably just need one capability statement that could cross over from federal to state. On your capability statement in the middle, you could have your NAICS codes, maybe 5 or 6. And then once you get certified with the state, you could have your UNSPSC code words, right? And you'll send that over to the advocate that says, please help me market my business. I want to work with your department. I would give them 48 to 72 hours to get back to you. If not, then you would email the advocate department, advocate@dgs.ca.gov to say, hey, I'm trying to find the advocate in this department to help me market my business and I've been unsuccessful. Because again, the advocate is a state employee. They might have gotten promoted, they might be on vacation. So you want to just if you're going to do this process, I would suggest that you do it. But I would pick out maybe 5 or 6 departments that you want to work with, shoot them an email. Again, not a big dissertation because remember, They're trying to source business. There's a lot of departments in this directory. So send them an email, have your capability statement, go to the next department, and then set a calendar to follow up 3 days, 4 days later if they haven't followed up with you. But that is what the advocate directory is. And again, it's so much nicer than what it used to be before. So if we go to the next screen, we're wrapping up. So we'll have a lot of time for questions and answers. So these are the resources that we at DGS have partnered with. And as you will see, Apex Accelerators is for sure on there. We value their business. They've always been uh, just drop dead ready for us in business, and we're so thankful for this partnership. You can either, if there's not an Apex Accelerator in your area, because it is nice to go and sit down and talk to someone instead of a Zoom, right? I mean, Zooms have been nice for the past 4 years, but it's nice to sit down in an office and speak to someone, so we can definitely make sure that there are no barriers and we're speaking the same language. SBDC, Small Business Development Centers, it says it's for new business, not necessarily. I don't know where that came from. I know Apex Accelerators is for established business, new business. The information is the information. And SCORE, it says for new businesses as well. Again, I don't know who made those designations, but Apex Accelerator, I can tell you, has been top notch. SBDC, you got to find someone that's in your area that's going to do that. Amanda, what else do you want to add to this part?
Honestly, you covered it all. We have such great partnerships with a bunch of different resources. So that's kind of the best part too, is if you're looking for maybe some business resources, you would probably want to connect with the SBDC to get like your timesheet set up, your HR kind of set up. And then once you have all that set up, you can just let your counselor know, like, hey, I'm looking to do government contracting. And they would actually be able to refer you directly to your local Apex Accelerator. So I guess if I were to add anything, it is a network of resources that are here to support you and your business goals. So you can work with just one of these resources, or you can work with all three just to support your goals and your business. They're all here for you. And I believe they're all free services. So there's
Yes.
really nothing to miss out on.
Yes. So a couple more slides and we'll take some questions. The next screen, we're going to talk about if you want to follow us on LinkedIn, we would love for you to do that. That's our LinkedIn page. I manage the LinkedIn every Wednesday. I'll update the events of where we're going to be, the webinars that we're going to either host or because we host how to do business with the state of California twice a month as well. So I'm presenting now with Norcal APEX Accelerators on how to do business, but we offer a one-off as well, twice a month through the end of the year, and we have different classes that we offer also. And another way that you could participate with us is if you go to blank Google screen and just type in DGS, then events, DGS events. That's going to give you another snapshot of where we're going to be. It's 8 of us in our division. We have 2 managers, 8 outreach liaisons. We travel around. Maybe you could meet us at an event and I could meet you in person. But the next screen is just going to give a big, big thank you for hanging in there with us. And again, my name is Elisa and this is my email address. And whoever suggested that I restart my computer, you're a genius. I didn't even think about that. I just kept logging out and logging in. I was frantic, right? So thank you so much for that. So the floor is for anyone that can stick around and stay with us. We did build this out for 2 hours. We would love to give you some time back, but if anyone has some questions and wants to hang around, I am here for as long as you need me. I'll turn it back over to
Absolutely.
Amanda.
Yeah, and before we get into our final Q&A of today's session, I do want to let you know a little bit about some other upcoming events you may be interested in. So our next event is an introductory level how to do business with the government training. This one is focused very much on whether you're doing federal, state, or local contracting. This event is going to be focused on the foundational procurement skills that you are going to need to be successful no matter where you go in procurement. So that's covering things like capability statement, how to market your business, and many other things. So if you're interested in that, please do register and join us on October 29th. But if you do want to stick to the California contracting, which I highly recommend you do, as this is the first of a three-part series, we will have our second session on November 4th at 10 a.m. and then our third session on November 20th as well. And it's going to be a great session. I really do. I enjoy this three-part session so much that I've actually pushed us to do it as a series because each session kind of builds on what you learned in the past one and gives you a bit more detail, a bit more of the bigger picture until we get to the third session where we actually cover the different formats of solicitations that California agencies use, which is kind of what you need to know when you're going into contracting with the state. So definitely some interesting trainings to keep an eye out for. And I will go ahead and drop our training link into the chat. So if you are interested, you can go ahead and follow that link to register for any of these events. And again, these are all at absolutely no cost. And even if you don't attend, although we do appreciate your attendance, you will get the recording of these events as well, including this one.
Okay.
And with that, I'd love to go into a few questions. We do have a couple. Please do remember to put your questions into the Q&A section so that we can make sure that we are tracking them and getting them all answered. So the first one is from Sophia. She was wondering about the UNSPSC codes, and she was
Okay.
wondering what the best practices were regarding that. Would you recommend just including like level 3 and level 4 codes in their profile, or should they include codes at all levels?
Well, if you include level 4, that will include 1, 2, and 3. Because level 4 is building on level 1, 2, and 3. So if you look at the example that we presented, for instance, level 1 is going to include paper materials and products. Level 4 is paper materials, paper products, business use printing and writing paper, printer or copy paper. So the rule of thumb, if you will, would be to try to get down to level 3 and 4 if you can drill down to that. Because again, level 1 is just saying you have paper materials and products. Level 4 is saying that you have the business printer paper, printer and copy paper as well. I hope that makes sense.
Fantastic. And yeah, that's something that I've heard across all of these webinars is you always want the most specific one, which would be that level 4, because it
Exactly.
covers all of the other less specific ones as well.
Yes. There you go. Good job. Okay.
I learned too.
Yeah.
All right. Jacob was wondering if there is a place in Cal eProcure that they can go and search up UNSPSC codes.
Yes. When you go to register, you would manage your certification. Before you move forward, it's going to ask you for keywords and it's going to ask you for UNSPSC code words. If you cannot find that before you start your registration, so it's a two-step process, right? You're going to register your business, they're going to take a look at the documents, and then you're going to hit the button that says certified. That's going to go to the certification division. 99.99% of the time, it's an instant certification. If not, they might need some clarification. Don't fret. That doesn't mean anything is wrong. It's just the way the system is set up. Excuse me. Then what you can do is you can always do just a straight Google search, UNSPSC codes. It will take you to the UNSPSC website. You can gather your UNSPSC codes before you start to add them to your profile on Cali Procure. So there's a couple ways that you can get around that. But again, I'm going to double back and say, yes, there is a spot. Once you are ready to get certified, after you register, then you're going to click the button that says Get Certified Now. That's going to take you through a series of different pages where you're going to have to add your business phone number, your business address. If you have a fax number, you'll see your documents on one page that says, you're a small business, you're an LLC. On the next page, it's going to show what are your gross annual receipts. There's a series of questions about that. The next page is going to say, what is your ownership to the business? Are you the secretary? Are you the president? Are you the CEO? What is your percentage of ownership? So it's going to scroll you through about 5, 6, 7 pages of information to say yes or no. And then there's going to be a screen that says, what are your keywords? Because keep in mind, and the reason we want you to use singular and plural keywords is because someone might search for waste material. Somebody might search for trash material, trash decomposition. Someone might search for waste cleanup. Somebody might search for trash cleanup. So we want synonyms of the goods and services that you provide. We want singular and plural because people, they don't speak the same way, they might not do the search the same way, and we want it to be a searchable engine that will then lead back to finding your company. Great
Perfect.
questions. Good
Yeah.
questions.
And I actually did get a bit of clarification as it seems like Jacob already has a Cal eProcure profile. So is there
Okay,
somewhere within the profile that he can go in and adjust and adapt those keywords and those
absolutely.
UNSPC codes?
Yes, when you log in, there's going to be a link that says amend application. So when you amend your application, then it's not gonna let you go straight to the UNSPSC code words. Again, it's an older system. So you have to save and continue until you get to the screen. And I do believe it's 5 screens in. You'll see then where you can either delete and change your keywords, delete and update your UNSPSC code words. Oh, and here's one other thing you must make sure that you do. You must make sure that you have the correct service area. Because if you don't have the correct service area, you will be inundated with emails from all over the state. And you will then be like, why am I getting so many emails? So if your area is Reading, Humboldt, that area, then you might not want to put Los Angeles as your service area. So you must make sure that you have the correct service area because everything is not going to happen over Zoom anymore, right? You might need to go to that particular region area to do the business, to make sure you've completed the contract. So again, make sure you have the right service area. Jacob, on my email or Amanda, if you want to, I can post it. Jacob, it sounds like we need to have a one-on-one consultation so that we can get on a Zoom call. It'll work, don't worry. And then you'll share your screen and I will walk you through some tips on how to better your profile so we can take a look at it. So we'll put that on there too. I'll get that for one-on-ones if anyone is interested in having a one-on-one with me or anyone in my group.
Absolutely. And if you do have a moment and have it easily accessible, I'm sure I have a couple other folks asking for your contact info.
Okay, good.
So if you can put that in chat, I know a lot of people will be very interested in connecting and really polishing up their Cal eProcure profile with your help.
Good, good, good. And we want that. Let's see if that's going to work. Oh, that didn't work as the link. Hold on. It's on my, okay, so many things you have to remember when you're doing it this way. But I got
Absolutely.
that here. Got to. Okay, do we have any other questions? What other questions do we have?
We do. We have a couple other questions, and I do want to know, Elisa, it looks like you posted that to host and panelist only.
Oh, I did. We're supposed to put that in the
In the blue box right above chat, just make sure it says
Q&A.
everyone.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. There we go. Here. Everyone. Okay, but so now I need to put it back in there, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, here we go. There you go.
Perfect.
That's the link if you want to set up a one-on-one. This is free, right? This doesn't cost you anything. And you'll pick the date and time that works for you. And it really doesn't matter. It says select a service. Either one of those that you select, introduction to state contracting, find contracting opportunities, Cal E Procure registration and certification, update my Cal E Procure profile. Again, you should be certified. This is not a link to help you get certified because we're only going to have 20-minute, or excuse me, 30-minute intervals. And this is where we'll just look through your profile. So, okay, thank you.
Perfect. And we
Yes.
do have a couple more questions. If
Okay,
you
good.
do have any other questions, please enter them into the Q&A. We are kind of winding down as we run through all of these questions, but please do not hesitate if you have anything come up. So someone was wondering if they're a state employee, are they able to own a business that contracts with government agencies as long as it's not the agency they work for?
Right. Yes, you are. We don't want to preclude anyone that wants to have a business. A lot of people, are working and still have a business on the weekend. This is what they're doing to make extra money to help support their families. So, yes, yes, absolutely, yes.
Perfect. And then someone else was wondering about kind of a best practices question. So they're wondering if they're able to create a sort of umbrella business that covers quite a few different UN SPSC codes that may or may not be related. The example they give is concrete and paper products. Do you think that they should create just one company and certify that one company? Or do you think it would be more effective to do individual companies for like related UN SPSCs?
I think that one company with a name that gives you what is happening with the business, I wouldn't advocate for someone creating different businesses based on UNSPSC code words because I don't know when that's going to change or what's going to happen with that later. And you've done all this work. So, no, I wouldn't say that you should create businesses based on UNSPSC code words if it is a general contracting business that does supplies, right? I think you should come up with a name that will mean more services, and then use the UNSPSC code words to denote what that is. That would be my suggestion. Again, your expert would be your Apex Accelerator, and you would meet with them, call them, set up an appointment, and you would run that by them because I'm not the expert in that field. I am the orator. I present the material. We don't do the certification. So I don't want to steer you down the wrong path. Since this is being recorded, I would suggest that you meet with your Apex Accelerator representative and come up with a plan for that.
Perfect. Um, and it looks like all the other questions we have either touched base on or would be better answered with a one-on-one meeting with either you or with our procurement specialist. Um, because yeah, the only two questions we have are kind of very, very specific to their situation and their goals. So unfortunately, we're not going to be covering those in a webinar for today. But with that, we have made it through all of our questions.
I do see in the webinar chat that someone says, "Hi, I'm in California. Where to get?" I think that's supposed to be started to get certified. I just posted the Cali Procure link in there.
Perfect.
Everything for state contracting starts at Cal E Procure and gather your documents, get started, register first, and then it walks you through that. But yes.
Perfect. And if you are looking for assistance getting certified, getting registered, or anything of that nature, please do feel free to reach out to Norcal APEX Accelerator, or if you're outside of our service area, remember we are a nationwide network of centers funded to help you and your business navigate government procurement. So please do connect with us if you're looking for more assistance. I will drop that link in chat as well. And with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up today's event. We are giving you a bit of time back in your day, but thank you all so much for being here with us today and for your gracious amount of patience while we navigated some
Thank
technology
you
issues.
so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone for hanging in there.
And
And
thank you so
Amanda,
much.
thank you.
Of course. And thank you, Elisa Carr, for joining us today.
Of
It was
course.
a great presentation, a lot of good details. And everybody in the audience, please do remember you will be getting this recording as well as the slide deck with all of the resource links active and clickable for you to explore within 1 week of today's event. And with that, as you exit the webinar, you will be redirected to our feedback survey. If you have but a moment, it is quite a short feedback survey, but we really do value your opinion on these webinars. So if you think that this one was fantastic, all of the details you were looking for, all of the information, and you feel really prepared to get certified, please do let us know. We love to hear that. But on the flip side, if you were looking for maybe something a bit more adjacent to what we covered today, maybe the TSM agreement or more details about different kinds of things in government contracting, please do let us know there. We do greatly value your feedback because we put on these trainings to help you and your business. So if we could be doing it better, the only way we're going to know is if you let us know. But on the flip side, if you think that we're doing fantastic and keep going on this direction, we would love to hear that as well. So, as a final thank you all so much for being here. I hope you all have a great rest of your day.
Have a great day. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I
Yeah, thanks,
appreciate you
Elisa.
so much. Thank you.
It was awesome, and I hope you all have a great day. Okay.